Hi, my friend. It's Pat Sloan here. It's allergy season. It is spring. You're going to hear me being a little bit froggy off and on. It might come and go even as I'm working here talking. So that's what it is. Okay, so today is Butterfly Day. We are doing the Tula Pink Butterfly quilt, and we're on the last block. You've already learned how to do curves. You're just going to do them again, and you only got to do 4 blocks this time. They do have more pieces though, so it probably equals up to the amount of work as last week's. So we're going to do that in a few minutes on the other side of the table. But I want to show you my block a day, the cheerful. So I have this is how big it's going to get for me, because then I can be done, because I need to be done at the end of the month. So I need 5 more blocks to do this layout. So I have 3 of them cut. And then I pulled 2 others so that I could actually use these as placement, and this will be the actual layout of it now. I've moved things around a few times. The deal is, because all of these are directional, that I will actually go and figure out where I want to place them, you know, what position, and then I'll know which direction, and I'll lay it out so that I can sew it easily and get them in the right direction. So, I mean, if I get one out of direction, I could probably swap it somewhere, but I want to try to just do it properly. Then what I will do is go again and take the rows across and clip them so that I can use those to sew up. I don't know. No, I do know. I will not have the top done on the last day of the month. I'll probably sewing the top will be rolled into April to finish it, because there's just no way I can sew it by the end of the month, which I believe is tomorrow. If I'm not mistaken, it's tomorrow. But I'm close. I would like to have all the blocks done by the end of the day tomorrow. So that would be perfect. Then we'll talk about, maybe tomorrow, I'll talk about a border for this. Well, actually, I should probably just talk about that today, because I don't want to hang these back up tomorrow. Here we go. We'll do this today, because I just don't want to have to put these all up there and do all that again tomorrow, because, you know, it's just too much. Okay. This is the giveaway quilt. This is the quilt that at 95,000, somebody will win that quilt. Ah, so pretty, right? Look at that. Okay, so border. This is what I'm thinking. Let's put this up here, because I don't really have a pink that, enough yardage of a pink. Everything's kind of small pieces in here, but I do have, which I do kind of like, this one has too much tan. This guy here, this is beautiful, but it has too much tan, and it just does not have the feel of this quilt. See, it's kind of like a basket weave behind it. It doesn't have the feel of this quilt. This one's goofy, so we're not doing that one. This is what I'm thinking, because this is a plaid that I got in the Caribbean. So when we were in the Caribbean, I also got this, but that's got a gray background. It doesn't have much pink in it, just a little bit. It's in the pink container though, because it's by this one. Yeah, so that makes sense, right? I don't know how much I got of this. It's a madre print. It's a woven, so you can see, you know, both sides look pretty much the same. I also think, was it a little bit wider? No, it's not. I was thinking maybe it was a little bit wider. So if I use this, I would do an inner border. So I don't know. My brain wants to have like a little floral, you know, like some sort of pink floral. But I own this. I haven't used it. It's got like some gold threads in it. I think it would be super cool. I would do cornerstones, because I don't really want to have to, I don't want to have to match, you know, plaid. I don't know. It's got a lot of brown in it, you know, that strip of brown. So I'm not sure. I am not sure now that I see it up there. I might just go dig around. I don't know. So that, I don't know, now that I have it up there. So this is what you have to do. You have to audition. You have to put the fabric up there, because if you don't, you just, you know, thinking how it looks and then how it actually looks are sometimes two different things. And I don't want teal. I mean, I could do teal. This is a porch swing fabric, so I have plenty of that. I could do like a pink inner border of some sort, like, you know, and then a teal border on it. But I was kind of hoping for a pink border. So I will think on that. I will think on that. I really didn't want to buy fabric. So I wanted to just use something fun that I have. The other thing is I could just use the plaid and that's it. You know, I could just use it. I could do cornerstones in teal and binding with teal, but I don't know. It's not, the vibe is not speaking to me. It's not speaking to me. See, like in here, there's some pink from, I've got just because it's close, I've got, this is a Tula Pink fabrics in here. And like here is something with a darker pink and the yellow flowers. So like that has the florally feel, but it's actually a bit darker than I was thinking. So, okay, well, it'd be nice if you could see it, right? Okay. And it fell down. All right, hold on. This is real life here. Okay, so there is one. I don't even know if I can still get that one. But there is a pink. But see, it's a little bit too dark for me. I was thinking I wanted something lighter than that. This is one that has a lot of pink. And I use this in the quilt. So I don't know if that would be something like that. It's a geometric. This is more like what I'm thinking. Okay. So there is my thought process. Like I like the tone of that one better. That medium tone better than the darker. Okay. So those one I have to think about. I'm going to look around. I'm going to look around and see if I can find something else that works. I've got a couple other bundles of fabric that I'll pull out a few and try them. Okay, so today is also Walk in the Park Day. So if you have a park nearby that you can walk in, that would be a wonderful thing to do. I love to walk in the parks. I always have. When I was a kid, we had a museum just down the street, a great big museum, huge, with a huge park and a lake and everything, and it was so nice to walk down there. It was really a pretty place to walk and kind of hang out as a teenager, get away from the house. Okay, let's go on the other side and take a look at the butterfly quilt, and I will take these down so I can put some of the butterfly stuff up on the wall. Well, look at this. I have a big piece of the Eiffel Tower fabric. I don't think, I have this also in a darker, this darker Eiffel Tower, but I don't think I have as big a piece of that. But the light one, I have a big piece. And seriously, when am I going to use Eiffel Tower fabric? I have owned it forever and a day, forever and a day. So I don't know, I'm considering that. It's probably a bit lighter than I was thinking, but I really like the fact that I could maybe use it. So there it is up close. Now I also have, I said I have some other bundles or just fat quarter bundles. And so I found this. I'm just going to stick it on top. So hopefully you can visualize that a little bit. But there is a K-facet fabric. And, you know, I am a person that leans towards darker borders much more than lighter borders. But I do love a light border every so often. So, that looks nice too. That looks really nice. I'd have to order some of that. So I'm going to see what else I can come up with. One more I found, there it is, was strawberries. So, yeah. So that gives that kind of medium feel of pink. It's another one to ponder. All right, one more. I told you I had to look around. So I went looking at my fabric lines as I wasn't thinking this pink would be a good pink, but it's a perfect. It's perfect. It's got that same density here. And although I love the Eiffel Tower, it just was too light for me. I think it needs the darker. So, yeah, got a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. My Promise Me fabric with the medium scale roses. So it had the scale that I was looking for. Oh, so good. Okay, and I own it. I have it. Woohoo! Yay! Okay, that's done. We are getting down to the super exciting part of all of this. The butterfly quilt from Tula Pink. Last blocks, and then we start assembling. Although I haven't finished all of my half square triangles yet. I think I still have to make 25 for each side. My rough count said. So I'm going to talk to you a bit about my plan for that. So let's take a look at the blocks, because they are the wheels, which have a few more parts than last week. So last week I went over how I did the curves, and I sewed curves. So if you need to see that, you can go back and watch that video, or you can go watch Kendall Taylor's video, who is also sewing these. These blocks have more pieces. So, oh, I didn't get out the, where is it? Here it is. Yeah, so you're going to have some extra units. Let's just take a look at the larger one first. So we've got your templates like that, and you will just be sewing. The difference is you're going to have two curves on each one, and then you do have to sew these two together. But this is what that looks like. So you'll be sewing those two together. They're just normal sewing of two pieces of fabric, so that's not a big deal. Now I do recommend, after I did all of mine, I switched part of the way through to using the smaller rotary cutter, because I felt like it just had more control with it rather than my regular size rotary cutter that I normally use. So I did do that. Now the other thing I did here, just fabric wise, is I switched out the solid purple. This is what is in the kit. So for those of you who are using the kit, it is this kind of bluey purple, and then I switched it out for some fabric that I had for this particular one, because I just thought those would be cute in the middle, and I like them a lot. Okay, you've got the polka dot, the light pinky purple, the purple base floral, and then either the solid or if you switch your own. Okay, and the other is the teal, which I already put the other block up on the wall. I'll show you afterwards. And there another polka dot, the darker teal, this lime green centerpiece, and then the geode type teal. So that came in the kit in the several different colors. So I want to just show you, a lot of you were using, we talked about glue. I did a little extra segment on glue, and several of you mentioned, or quite a few of you mentioned, the acorn glue. And I was like, what is the acorn glue? And so you showed me a picture, and then someone said, oh, I think it came in one of the Sew Sampler boxes. We got some. So like, yeah, I actually have it. That's like, I didn't remember it, and I had not tried it. This is one that Kimberly Jolly at the Fat Quarter Shop has been sewing with for a while now, so a lot of you have seen it on her videos. So if you want to try this for the block, if you also got it in the Sew Sampler box, and maybe you tried the glue stick like I was doing, and now you would like to try this as more of a clear liquidy glue, then this would be a great block to try it on. What I would do for these is to switch up. Remember, you'd put the pie shape on the bottom, but I would switch up to doing the glue like as a whole line rather than just the dots, because it seems like for this small one, it's just a lot nicer to have that control, to go ahead and control it the whole way around. You may find that, you may decide, no, that's not for you, but it's nice to give it a go. This is, take maybe a sample one and glue the whole way around rather than just in the 3 spots. So I put a pin. That's just going to make it a little bit easier. I was fiddling with it a little bit too much. Put a pin and be sure that you've got enough glue on there. Pull the other side and then ease that in as well, because you have bias now on there, so you can ease that in. And basically getting it in shape so that when you go, see there, that popped open. Yeah, this is fiddling around here. Let me get another pin. All right, so I am going to put pins until it dries, because I think that pressure that is pulling on it. So put pins until it dries, and then when it's dry, and I'll maneuver that up a little bit because actually there's no glue under there. So I will maneuver that so the edges are even, but then what I can do is go right to the machine and sew it when it's dry and not when it's wet, you know, when it's still pliable. Okay, I have to fix that one because it's not right up to the edge. There we go. See, this is like watching paint dry, to have somebody experimenting. I'm experimenting and learning. Okay, there we go. So I would let this dry, and then that's when I would sew it. Now I did use the glue sticks for mine. So this glue I didn't find out about. I didn't understand. I actually had it to try until after I was all done. So glue stick is actually will work just fine for you. While we're here, I wanted to tell you that sometimes when we're working on things, we just we have to give something up. You know, you're working on a bunch of different stuff, and right now I feel like that's where I am. I'm working on a bunch of different stuff, and so I haven't been doing much on the cross stitch. I just wanted to give you a status. I got this guy done, but I really need to start stitching a bit each day again, and I just sort of got out of the habit, so I need to go back into the habit for that. Also, I'm working on the April calendar, and I'll get that. Tomorrow's the last day. It'll either be tomorrow or April 1st. I'll have the April calendar. And there will not be much new in April. We'll be finishing up a bunch of stuff, and we will be starting and maybe having one or two things that are new. But there will be a bunch of time that I'm not available to even be sewing, so I'll be telling you about that. So, okay. We've got curves today and then assembly. So let's take a look at the lower right section. Here I just put the bottom right section of the butterfly up because basically all but one of the wheels and the pies go in this section. So I thought it'd be great to be able to see them together here before we do a wrap up. Don't they look awesome? They just make it. Everything else is very, you know, the angles, but these spots of circles, just so good. So after last week's video, I did go and sew some of the units together as much as I could, both on the right side and the left side. So here's an example. So I have this done, and there are a few more on the upper part of the butterfly because of all the circles coming down here. But I did get this unit sewn, you know, so that made it easier. It will make it easier to sort of work on them. And so we do have the half square triangles that will go around, and let me just show you. Here is this segment, so you can see they kind of, as Tula the designer said, they kind of feather the edge, putting those half square triangles, kind of soften those edges and, you know, make the butterfly have a more rounded shape. Okay, so you are on to doing your wheel blocks, just only 4 blocks. All right, take your time. You can do it. I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.